GoSkilla, how they are actually feeling. Do they have the confidence? Do they have what it takes to really take down these behemoths on this particular map? I don't know. But already, as we hop into the bans, we're seeing once again another FBI operator hitting it quite early on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going for the thermite ban again. I'm trying to think about that. I mean, border, it can be a good ban. It kind of just makes it more interesting, in my opinion, because a lot of this area is kind of just like thermiting open box wall. Like, for pretty much every single site, you're trying to get control of armory, right? So, thermiting open box wall, that's going to be kind of obviously impossible now because you can't thermite anything. Echo going to get banned, no surprises there, and Mirror going to get banned, also no surprises there. So pretty default bans across the board, except from that thermite could definitely make things interesting. Is definitely going to make things a lot more defender-sided, and their Citizen. Hashtag for the flame if you want to support MnM.
Yeah, you can do. I prefer. I just like just MnM, just marshmallows and molotovs. I just like saying that.
They also have
just,
one of the
it's such
best
a good name.
Logos as well.
Yeah, you have a marshmallow who's on fire, who's actually a ninja.
Yeah, he's wearing the ninja, like...
I'm sorry,
bandana.
you cannot beat that.
You can't beat
I
that.
apologize.
I can't think of any logos that really beat that. So, this is a great org, in my opinion, just off of the back of that, really.
Wow, but you want some stuff.
I want some stuff, definitely.
Calvin,
I mean,
if you're listening, don't listen to his lies.
I'm gonna be at Premland, you know.
Don't do it, Calvin.
I'm gonna be like, you know, hanging out. So if you want to send stuff my way, I'm all for it.
Do not do that. I repeat, do not fuel this man's ego.
Getting to round number 1, we're gonna see exactly how it goes down. We've seen armored blockers, defense coming down, as well as archives. This is kind of expected, I guess.
Yeah, I think looking at the kind of way that MnM take it, MnM are quite actually very smart. Sometimes they start armory, sometimes they start vents. Whenever we've seen them play against Pac, they start at vents the first time around. It's just the way that MnM want to choose it. They go with the flow. They do whatever they want to go for. But we move in, and certainly their armory, they like to have their C4s. That's what they like to have at their capability. Pretty sure Citizen usually runs that microcell on the bandits, and Kendry playing, of course, Valkyrie. We know how strong Valkyrie can be in many scenarios, and they're a big fan of Maestro. Doki was known as that kind of, you know, Jaeger player. Whenever they need the Maestro, he's kind of that first pick to go on it. I spoke to him about that. Of course, we know Doki has always been known as, for the very, you know, the young gunner that kind of set his trend for quite a while. We know that he's been around the scene for so long. And certainly whenever he is now being switched off an operator because saves has now come in, we know how established saves can be as that kind of roamer as well. We've seen him perform time and time again. Then yes, I think having Doki on a gun which has a lot of ammo in the trunk, you have no recoil essentially, Alda very little, if that. You have an ACOG, great fire rate. That kind of suits Doki's playstyle quite well, and they just pre-fire every corner he can.
It's interesting you mentioned that, and I do agree with that point. And I think that Doki and Kendry have this kind of like symbiotic relationship where they do all the time. It's like they need it, and Doki can play it. If they don't need it, Kendry will play it, kind of thing. Like, kind of just goes well. Kendry now tend to be the side players. On border, it tends to be much more fluid than that. So it looks like the box stake is going to be going down. This is interesting from Skilla. Like, they've dedicated absolutely everything to this push right now. So you see, without a thermite, this becomes intensely harder. I also talked about, like, I had to do VOD review for Nuriki, or when they were Nuriki, for some other leagues that my other team was, like, my old team was playing in. And I noticed that they use Zofia a lot for border, and like, they use it almost the same way that MnM uses it to try and deny bandit tricking. With Nello, gonna wide peek out using it. Panari almost instantly denying any grenade usage coming out from those.
Yeah, you mentioned that about the Zofia. Zofia, I think, is just very common in terms of border, especially whenever you know that Maestro is being let through. You always know a Maestro camera is going to be somewhere watching that box plant. So, of course, bringing out Zofia is pretty obvious. And again, you have that same flexibility to go below and try and stop a bandit trick from Citizen playing on the bandit, potentially. You know, mirror windows are also a thing. You know, there's options there. And also, of course, we know that it is a very strong gun. Frag pretty well, and it'll get its first kill onto Citizen.
Yeah, great early kill coming out of there, but that drop but also that's a lot of the bomb. Oh, Doki gonna run right into the hands of Oscar, but instantly traded it out. Nell with the double kill as well to shut down that old office take. Sorry, the box take, as Kalensky moves in to try and secure kills, but Kenji won't let him have it. Kalensky will go down. That's giving him gaming take round number 1 very effectively. I really think that was more GoSkilla defeating themselves more than anything. Like, they lost the book really early on, and it just all fell apart. I mean, they have no nades to push in there. They have no smokes to push in.
Yeah.
They don't have a thermite to push box. I don't think a box take is great for no thermite. And if you're gonna do it, you need some sort of massive entry. Like, even a Ying would be really good here.
This is the thing about box, is that yes, it's a very easy push to execute. There's not a lot to it. You run in, you plant the bomb, you get some kills on the way there. Simple enough. But you need to have some kind of impact, like you said. A Ying, we know, can do wonders. We know for a fact that Glaz can also do wonders, but he is banned. It's just, you need something that gets you in there. I personally would like to see potentially smoke grenades. I think those would probably be ideal for going for a box, because of course you can smoke off different crosses. You can try and plant right at the door if you have cover of smokes. That's just one gadget I think they're kind of lacking, and they need more of that if they want to go for it. If they want to have a high impact and also bring smokes, Dokubi's your girl.
I think Jackal has been a little bit more effective. Maybe not on this map, but overall, right? Because Dokubi got her nerf recently with the mutes as well.
It's still 12 seconds though. It's still 12 seconds. That's still like a lot of time.
If you run into the mute jammer, it instantly cancels it out.
Who plays mute and border?
Not on border, but I'm just like, this is what I'm playing like overall.
Just in general. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's better. But yeah, you are right, on border specifically, Dokubi is definitely a lot better. So yeah, no, you're definitely great with that one. It's also like you don't really see a lot of Jackal on border either. So but
yeah, that's true.
You need smokes or some kind of push with this if you're gonna do a box take like that. But there was really nothing there other than the nades that Panari had. But as soon as that utility is eliminated, it kind of goes all over, but you've already committed to the box take at that point. Yeah, that just went really, really badly. That early pick from Nell, I think, probably just won the round, honestly.
We're going to see Kai come back into the swing of things, and this is going to be his third match being here tonight. And again, we've talked about Kai quite in depth during our clubhouse bout, and certainly, Kai does bring things to the table, but teams have adapted. Teams know how to counter the specific operator, where you try and time your back grenades, just like shown. Because of course, Kai is not an instant factor like a bandit charge. You have a time up for those electric blows. That's why he's not as strong, I think, sometimes against the bandit. Of course, bandit, he puts himself at a risk of getting naded, because you actually have to do an animation. Kai doesn't have to do that luxury. He could just sit back and throw it day and day and day, but I still think that Thatcher really has become a must-pick operator, which I don't like having must-pick operators. That's why I kind of like having Habana, Thermite, Maverick. You don't have to pick all of them every time, as long as one of them there.
It's interesting that Doki would try and do that rotate.
Reloading.
That they had control over a door. Maybe he was just thinking he could get away with it quickly, but he goes down instantly, and now it's a 5v3. Lots of wide people coming out from MnM. They have to get aggressive now, but it's a 5v3. They can still bring things into their favor. They haven't got a huge amount of utility, but it's definitely good for them. Nades are going to go out, but saves take that Oscar. Things are looking much more recoverable for MnM.
Citizen still upstairs. We know what he did earlier in his match, and can he do the same? Still has a nitro cell, but I'm expecting Nello to try and perform big things. This is a smoke in his prime. We have seen so many smokes clutch up a B, and does he not see the drone that's looking right at him, Nello? He does finally see it, but oh, fuck! Sits down. Panari tries to get frisky, but Nello punishes him for that, and Citizen has full upstairs control, but Nello will be pressured hard on the bomb site, and Citizen will have to try and retake a 1 versus 3. Still has a C4, as Stiggy will begin the defusing sequence. Citizen no holes above, that's not the best for him, and he will have to try and rotate down in towards Tellers, but really, I think he's wasted a lot of time. If he was going to go for it, he should have just dropped in towards the servers, tried to take the gunfight, but at this stage, they'll know where he comes from. Even being castled outside isn't the best. C4 gets lobbed, but to no avail. Doesn't even get to be blown open, as Stiggy will shoot it mid-air. Citizen inside of 1 versus 3, unwinnable position. I think at this stage, be a free round for GoSkilla. Get a kill, fair play to him, but in the long run, it doesn't really matter. There we go, 1 kill for himself, but straight away the refrag comes in. And just a solid round from GoSkilla. I think the communication breakdown kind of hurt MnM in that scenario.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at that round thinking that MnM pretty much had it. The fact that they were wasting so much time on the upstairs thing. But yeah, I think the saving grace there was the fact that not only were MnM so aggressive in how they were rotating around, like, there were 2 pretty much free kills around Vents area from, I think it was Stiggy. Yeah, Stiggy on Habana, who was playing outside the front door, right? He's getting those free picks, and that is just slowly eliminating utility and manpower from MnM. On top of that, they gave up upstairs practically for 0 reason, and they had 0 holes up there as well. Well, I mean, they didn't have 0 holes, but they had less holes than really they ought to be at that point.
Moving on to round number 3, MnM will still be forced to go for that Vince after previously winning that armory. And I touched upon the kind of one-way bomb sites a little bit during Clubhouse. Looking at a map like Border, the customs and also that bathroom tellers are very one-dimensional sets of play. You as a defender can only hold those bomb sites in one direction. For the customs, you hold that in towards that security. If you're holding bathroom tellers, you try and hold in towards office. It's a bit of a worry, I think, for all the defenders playing Border anyway, is once you know you win both Armory and Vent, you will have to bite the bullet and go for another bomb site, which is significantly weaker compared to the other 2. For you, James, if you're looking at a map like Border, how can you really set up a strategy to kind of have a mental game and possibly try and catch them by surprise? Like, say for example, you know you either have to go customs or bathroom, the attackers know that. Do you ever try and kind of play around with the sick pick and try and bait them to believe you're going for a different bomb site?
Well, Castle's the main operator there for the sick pick, right? Like, he is really the only person you can really say, okay, we're gonna go like downstairs to like customs. Like, if we don't have a castle, we'll probably go to customs. If you have a castle, we'll probably go somewhere else, right? So, like, that's the really only major change up in a strategy you ever see. And yeah, but we do see Castle quite a lot from MnM. The only time that they don't seem to bring Castle is on that upstairs defense. So maybe you can bait them out like that. But honestly, these days, most people see the Castle and think it's going to get 6-picked anyway. So
I was thinking Flash. That's not what I was thinking about.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Because it's like, if you think about bathroom tellers, you want to try and hold office. Clash is great at doing that. She can stand and cover one doorway. You know, she can stand inside a fountain, give so much intel, you cannot push her because she has a long range of sight on you, and she's just sat right in the back of fountain. If you try and come through archives, she'll see you.
Yeah, no,
there's
that's
options.
Definitely very true. Yeah, Clash, we don't really see a whole lot of recently, especially because Supremacy just ban her every single round.
That's true, but I think that's just their playstyle.
Yeah, I mean, I miss Overtime, who would bring just shields all the time.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah, Connor on the Montagne every single day. He played Fuse Shield. I've seen him play Fuse Shield.
He's pretty horrible to deal with
on this map. On this map.
He plays shields very, very well.
He did.
There we go. We're going to see MnM already losing that man, but Penari going down so early on again. That's already losing your nades, and I'm really just looking at the GoSkilla roster. I just don't see where their entry is, right? Like, don't see where their utility is, other than the nades from Penari.
Yeah, I think losing that soft destruction basically forces them to simply try and hop in towards B. They don't have any smokes, which again is a worry that we've talked about. Basically for Border, you want to have some smokes. There's a lot of crucial sightlines that you really need to try and force the defenders to play in a different position. And as long as MnM still have upstairs control, this B plan isn't working. Even the A plan is not going to work. If they have upstairs control of hatches, everything is going to come crumbling down, which is happening at the moment for MnM as Save picks up Movito and also moves his way in towards that main corridor. Kendra and Nello, such low HP, Nello will fight the dust, but straight away, you see the refrag come in, another one as well as Komosia drops the hatch. As it's down to Save versus Oscar. Mosca, they're both on the other side off the wall, and Save will find the timer running too short for the Finn. And well, the Polishman will pick up the final kill, and very nail-biting finish comes to a close as MnM. They take run number 3, and that means they get to go back to Armory.
Could say he saved the round.
You could say, but you're trying too hard, so.
Really, I think the short and sweet ones are better.
You're going for the obvious ones.
Yeah, but like, you know,
make it unique. Stand,
you know, understand, you know. We're
gonna impressed.
It's gonna be an Armory Lockers and Archives defense already. We saw this once before from MnM. Kenju gonna 6-bit from the dock back onto that Valkyrie he was playing last time. So we're seeing the same lineup as we did last time from MnM as well.
So
this worked out really well last time.
Yeah, going into it, this was a very strong defense for MnM. It always has been. Their Armory really hasn't been touched a whole lot in terms of the way they kind of strategize against it. It's kind of been very similar. They set up with their Maestro cameras. They have Citizen Bandit tricking. Sometimes we may see some difference in terms of the Valkyrie Pulse being switched about as that kind of flex. Kendrew, mostly on this bomb site, is that flex. This time around, he is deciding to bring in that dock rather than the Valkyrie. I like that pickup because on a map, or not a map, like a bomb site like Border, especially for a box push, which is where we've seen GoSkilla go every time. I think if someone does get down behind half wall, I think Doc's a great pickup because that revives your half wall straight up. It also baits out the nades potentially. There's options here that the Doc brings, and again, could he play aggressive? Can he be promoted at the Doc? We'll see.
Wow, that is an insanely aggressive peek coming out from Kenju that late in the round. It will prove results though, but Panari will be in half health now, and with the new revive, that's actually like pretty decent damage they're doing. And also to mention as well, with the new revive, Doc actually becomes a lot more viable utility-wise.
Just the new HP change. I never really thought about it until I played with it. It's so massive. Like, there's times where I was on 21 HP, I wanted to get reset, I'm like, hold on a minute, what's the point? It's just, you know, or 19 HP should I say, sorry.
Yeah,
it's like,
even when you're, like, exactly, even when you're below the 20, it doesn't really make
if you're
any
1
difference.
HP, doesn't matter. You're still gonna die by 1 box save, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, the lowest damage in the game is a silence left, that's 19 damage. Well, anyway, Kenju is going to pick up his first kill. Mutaho gets a bit brave, moves all the way, and there you go. We see the Doc usage coming through, the utility coming out. Citizen gets healed up and boosted. Still.
Seems to be that GoSkilla are really struggling in a big way. They've just lost Canary as well. They've lost potential nades, and even Oscar Mosca, he has no utility. Breaching around your guy, sure he has some stun grenades, but what are they going to do whenever there's going to be 5 players all stacked up against each other? Sure, you may flash one, but what about the other 4? Is going downhill quick for GoSkilla. Stiggy trying his hand, and again, the fact that they've left both of those walls soft means that GoSkilla cannot plant default. They cannot plant beside the door up against potentially a reinforced wall. It's sometimes what we see. This has put GoSkilla in such an awkward position.
It has put them in an awkward position. And again, they're losing that entry ability so early on. There's not really been any adaptation coming up from them, but it is a best of 1. You can't really experiment that well. If you've got a strat, you kind of have to push with it. But this Thermite band is really screwed with their attack strategy so far, and they haven't really been successful. Oscar Mosca still holding down onto Metal, still trying to make his way through onto Beepers with the barbed wire there. Of course, with the barricade down onto the ticket office as well. It's really screwing them out here. And Saves is going to slowly push through onto 90C weekly. Oscar Mosca will pick up a kill, instantly created back by Saves. And now it's a 2-4. The way to CC, of course, tries to play more to make sure that's available. Kalensi just sprints into side, but Nello won't let him have it. Stiggy will pick up one to Saves, but he can't find another. Nello will pick up a double kill right there at the end. MnM Gaming will take round number 4. Easy as that.
Okay, so that means we head to our more unusual bomb site pick. That has been 2 defenses on the row for MnM. They've won Vents, they've won Armory, and now they can either go bathroom tellers or they go customs. Looking at, I believe, whenever MnM decided to play against Pact, their third bomb site was tellers as well. Whenever MnM played against, I believe it was Vitality, bathroom and tellers was also their pickup. So they certainly do favor that particular area compared to the customs. And I think that's just more of just a preference pick in terms of teams. You have a choice between customs or bathroom and tellers, like we know. Is what it is. They're strong at this bomb site, but can GoSkilla be stronger?
I think they just need to adapt a little bit better. I mean, they're bringing the same lineup every single time. It's not working. Clearly, they need to either change it where they're pushing from or do something different with their lineup or something. I mean, I get teams that take the same lineup for every area because it allows you to like kind of see past that mind game we were talking about with like taking different sites and stuff and trying to bait out a sick pick that you may not be ready for and stuff like that. But adaptation is such a key area, and I think MnM are not going to let you get away with just doing the same thing over and over again. They're going to adapt against you, they're going to shut you down. We already saw adaptation coming out from them, whereas Kendrick could not consider the Valkyrie. So, I don't know, I just think that GoSkilla are losing the adaptation battle here, that they should be thinking further ahead.
I think it's... I don't know. You know what? We'll just let Doki do what Doki does, because again, Doki's never wrong, you know?
Apparently.
Never wrong. Do you not know this? No?
No, I am actually not aware of this.
Wow. Well, that's just Doki. You know, Doki's Doki. Doki bot. Yeah, Doki's Scottish robot. That's him. Scottish cyborg. There you go.
There's a cyborg in every region. So,
yeah. You know, I think the obvious English one. Not even Leon Gids. People thought Leon Gids best UK player. Leon Gids isn't an English cyborg. He's English monkey.
Yeah, Leon Gids is.
People not know this. Stop it. No, we've used it too much. We've used it too much. I'm not impressed. Need new ones.
I'm still.
Do we have a Doki copy pasta?
Yeah.
We need one which just sums him up entirely. That's what we need. Chat, big happen. I know you can.
That's your job, yeah. You heard it.
Good stuff. But looking at GoSkilla, they have determined that yes, the weakest point in terms of getting rid of the very awkward positions in terms of that upstairs office is going to be with nades from above. It's a very underutilized position, but for this particular position that they're trying to push in towards, then yes, this works quite well, because sure, this can be used if teams are defending armor and extending into the office, but typically you don't have this sheer amount of setup going into an office hole for a top floor. Typically, office holes are more favored in terms of defending that bathroom. Tellers, Panari will find a nade kill on the Citizen, and Saves Aggressive will be punished by Stiggy as it heads into a 2 versus 4. Nello Kendrew, they can do as the 2 hard anchors.
Yeah, I mean, that is pretty good shooting coming out from Stiggy across the board. It's ready before, but it's all down to Nello and Kendrew to try and bring it in. I mean, we still got Kendrew, he's got the revolver, he's feeling confident about it. We still have the default camper as well. We still have Nello on the side, of course, still passing himself. Two goes 3 fires from the floor, take out the shotgun as well. Dealing with, oh no, the smoke canister got destroyed by the nade. Oh wow, that is unfortunate. I think that was Kendrew on the stairs. Oh, sorry, the Ash charge.
Yeah, it was Ash charge.
Is going to take down Colors.
But still, is what it is. But Kendrew in a very deadly position, but if Nello had stayed alive, then it could have opened up options for Kendrew, but now he is inside of a 1 versus 3. Doesn't even find the Ash. Unfortunate. And Kendrew, Kenneth.
Kendrew's a bit obsessed with it.
Look, Kenneth Kendrew. Not impressed.
I mean, the ACOG kind of screwed him out there, because I think if he didn't have the ACOG, he could have won that fight.
Who plays holographic MP5?
Well, I mean, it's more just the fact that Ash obviously can't have the ACOG in that situation. So, like, the 1x site in that area is good. Yeah, and Kendrew just got destroyed.
He's not happy. Kenneth is not happy.
I mean, would you be happy?
Hey, I'm still... If you're in this scenario, you're still winning, you know? And, again, more than likely, Kendrew could just blame that round on Doki, so...
That is true. That is very true.
Just any round that MnM lose, blame Doki. Simple. Not much to it.
Good team morale to have someone to blame.
The funny thing is, that's actually what they do. It's not even like a meme thing. It's actually what they do, and it actually they say it makes Doki play better. So, I mean, to be fair, Doki did. He is on 0-4, so I hope he starts playing better, or else he will not have a good time this Kremlin weekend if he doesn't get some kills here. I'll make sure of that. But getting into Rainbow 6 is going to be the final attack coming out from GoSkilla.
If they win this attack, I think it'd be more or less the scoreline you'd expect on Border, kind of like a 50-50
yeah,
split.
What you're expecting. You know, we know that Armory and Vents are very strong bomb sites. They're very strong for defenders, and then the other two kind of lackluster. You very, very, very rarely see a 6-0 scoreline in Border. I don't think I've ever seen one. I think I've seen a 5-1, but that's it. Never seen a 6-0.
I think it's more because, like, you have Armory and you have Vents, and those are two really strong sites. Yeah. And then you have Bathroom Towers and Customs, that are two really weak sites.
Like, if you want a 6-0, you have to win 2 Custom and Tellers and Bathroom, or Customs and then Bathroom and Tellers. You have to win 2 of those defense. That's not easy.
Doing 1 is okay, but 2? Questionable. But there we go. We've received a Vent attack coming out from GoSkilla. See what they can do here. Already moving in with the free fires well through onto the office door as they're already getting everything open. Trying to get that control on. He's going to try
Oscar still, I think he's been doing good work on that Ashe, especially playing entry. I still think Ashe has her place. Sure, she doesn't have the ACOG, that's a big talking point. You know, you think about how many people said, oh, Ashe has lost the ACOG, no, she's going to be unviable anymore, why not just bring Sophia? Ashe still has one of the best guns in the game. If people can adapt to play with holographic, there are people playing with holographic whenever there still was an ACOG. Ashe still fits into that meta. That's why we have seen Ashe bans throughout this Challenger League season. And still, whenever you have a player like Oscar Mosca, who can frag consistently, if you're an Ashe main and you can get double kills, that sets your team up so well for that late game.
It does. If you bring in an Ashe, you really have to get your kills, but yeah, we are going to see the first kill of the round. Is going to be Tahoe going down to an aggressive peek coming out from Nello so early on. That is not good, and ADSs are going to get burned by Oscar Mosca here, just holding this angle outside of the box wall. See what you can do to move into the final minute of the round. Things are not looking great, because we still have the upstairs control, but Nell going to take down Panari. That's already the book of the board, and there goes the nades with him. Oscar Mosca is still trying to do work here on box, but 3-5 is not looking good. Sticky going to try and move in through the hallway and see if he can get an entry onto the server, but not managed to find a pick just yet. But last time, Steve found 2 picks basically for free here. Yeah, this didn't end very well, but there we go. He finds a free pick on Zanello. Great angle from him, but instant traded by Citizen. And there's the diffuser down in the hallway.
MnM holding strong. Oscar Mosca has 1 breach run it will use above the B bomb site. And will take up position, drops in towards server, but straight away gets eliminated by Doki. Finally gets himself a kill on the board. As Kalinski stopped inside of a 1 versus 3 against Doki, Kendry, and saves. And well, looks to be that Kendry, no, once again, obliterated, absolutely destroyed. As it will be at 1 HP in Kendry right now. Yeah, I'm surprised we're not seeing some like mad spam, but hey, we'll get him later.
Chat.
Yeah, but I'll tell you one thing, I'm proud of you, chat. Do you want to hear the copy pasta, James? Do you want to hear it?
Yeah, let's hear it.
I believe it is... wait, I've missed it. Chat is going so fast. Doki isn't so great. Have you ever seen someone impact a table with such precision? Clearing out all files at once. You can only wish you were as fast as him. He's mastered the impact in a way that you could only dream of.
Yeah, I don't know if he mastered the impact there, but that's definitely a good one. I like that.
He's mastered the art of dying first.
Apparently so.
That's Doki.
We are going to move through onto MnM's attacks now, as we do see them with a 4-2 scoreline, so slightly in an advantage here. I still think this could have been 5-1 if they hadn't just given Stiggy so many free kills outside of the front door.
Yeah, there was that one run just in that vents, which... I think with vents, whenever top floor control is taken so easily by attackers, then it's very difficult for defenders to really retake a B. In that scenario, I think that MnM, yes, they played above, but in that certain round, we've seen an adaptation from GoSkilla. They realized, oh, hold on a minute, nobody's actually in the bomb site except 1 person. Let's 3-man push and get the refrag and then plant inside of A where they're not defending. We've seen that Citizen was running around like a wild dog, didn't know what to do. But certainly, stuff like that does come in pretty big. So we will head to the first defense for GoSkilla. They will be defending the Armory. quite a different setup. As you can see, they have a pulse being brought, which is something that we did not see MnM bring to the table.
Yeah, I mean, I like pulse on border mostly because it forces a roam clear. Like, if you know there's pulse, you have to kill him. There's no way you can let him survive that. So it forces a roam clear, and you can use smoke, like, vertical play. Like, open up vertical play, and, like, keep your pulse alive and protect him in other ways. You can play that around that quite well to try and stop a roam clear. He's good for that kind of thing, but it's more like it's still another body off site, right? And he has to stay alive, and he has to keep alive with his nitro. If he dies early on, it's a massive waste, because he can die early on, because it's pretty easy to roam clear on border.
Yeah, I think the roam clear out, it's very compact. You don't have that same rotation compared to other maps that have 3 sets of staircases. You know, I think a big one concept that we kind of seen from Extreme was the roam potential we have. That's why I think Jackal isn't as good on border, because you're not really looking for anybody on the flank watch. You're typically seeing 5 hard anchors with a potential late rotate. That's why I think Nomad is a great offer to bring on border, because late rotates are a big thing. There's multiple hatches you can drop in through, and Kenari sees advantage and takes full advantage of Kendrew, who was propelling unsuspectingly to his demise, and Staves not giving the cover to his teammate. Maybe looking to see if he can get the refrag off the kill. And we'll find on Kenari. At least they've got the refrag, but that's your hard breacher gone.
Yeah, he already opened up the wall, so he's kind of done his job already, but yeah, I really shouldn't have been watching that, but there we go. Doki is going to take out Kalensky, and it's going to be a 3v4. Both the GSG9 operators off the board already, but MnM are starting to run out of options of how they can actually push this side. And they're kind of having the same issue that GoSkilla did, where they don't really have their entry anymore. They don't really have many nades on the table, but it is a 4v2. So if they can make this happen, they can make it happen soon. But 50 seconds left to go on the clock. It's not looking too great for them. GoSkilla only having 2 remaining on the board, but it's definitely the 2 people you've got remaining. There we go, Nomads are going to go down. This is looking pretty bad for GoSkilla, but it's still got 3 more gas grenades. Move tower going to make things easier, but what are you doing? Doki just runs all the way in, tries to go for a plant, doesn't even look at half wall.
Doki. Forehead. Stiggy finds one on Tonello, and Citizen as well will fall. Classic Doki.
He just ran in. This man doesn't care.
He is getting terrorized this land event.
He's on a mission to plant the diffuser.
I just find it funny. This is Challenge League, by the way, guys. Just to let you know.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's just poor droning and poor information from MnM. But really, you want to just check that anyway, right? So, yeah. Maybe Doki's going to blame his teammates now. They're saying that someone should have drone there or whatever. But there seems to be a lot of miscommunication right now on MnM. I mean, no one's watching that run out outside the front door where they really should be. And GoSkilla are taking massive advantage right now on the defense. That should have been an easy win. Especially because it was 4v2 and they had a minute left to go on the clock. And again, like, that we saw last game as well, there's been pretty poor drone economy from both teams. Like, there's been a big lack of intel like that last minute.
This entire playday, I don't think drones... we haven't really seen a lot of drones, to be honest. Quite confusing, because I think last week we've seen great droning. I think Supremacy... Well, we haven't seen Supremacy tonight, and Vitality as well. So Vitality is in our next match, that could change as well. But for the most part, drones for all of our 3 matches so far hasn't really been there. Sure, they've done the initial drone work in terms of finding rumors, but that final execution where you typically open up the thermite wall, get your stuff prepped to go into the plant, typically a drone is done during that prep work, that second phase of your droning.
Yeah, I mean, you have 2 drones, right? You have like the initial pre-placed drones, and then you drone out for your entries, and then your second wave of drones comes through from your entries putting down theirs and stuff like that. Like, there is drone work strategy that just isn't being coming through right now for whatever reason. I mean, there's no mute on the board. Well, there is a mute now, but there wasn't a mute before. And that's also interesting. There's a mute on the board. Should we talk about that a little bit? Because we talked about earlier about we don't really see mute on the board.
I think the way that we're seeing the players of GoSkilla kind of play this particular bomb site. They are giving upstairs control. This is unusual. We never really see this because basically we're open up both bomb sites from upstairs. Quite similar to how we see Piano on Consulate be the prime target for a lot of attackers. This is quite similar to that. But I think GoSkilla, they're playing in towards customs, so they're going to try and go for a retake. If they can shut down that drone economy to not let those kills come in through customs, then that's great for them. And possibly whenever they've done their research, they know MnM, they like their Dokkaebi, then that's another reason why we're seeing the mute being brought. So they are playing towards the retake. I'm curious to see how they will perform, especially with a man down already.
There's also been no Thatcher coming out from MnM, and that could be pretty devastating, honestly, in this kind of situation. You see work being done upstairs, but I don't think they're really going to get many kills or opportunities through this vertical play, because as you said, there's still customs control with Panari. Siggy finds the first kill of the round. There goes saves. Sorry, the first kill for GoSkilla this round. As Mutaho still going to be playing around onto the main lobby desk and seeing what he can use to rotate back into the site. However, sees the vertical play, Nomad air jump is going to get detonated, but Panari takes down Citizen in return. 3-4. Mutaho does not have Nitro available, so he can't really deal with the vertical play, as Dokistan is going to pick up Stiggy. Easy as that. And that was a 3v3 situation. Looking much better for MnM, really, but Nitros are going to go out and not going to find that mark. That's more utility off the board right now for GoSkilla. It's not looking too good for them.
MnM will have to try and rotate and put their forces somewhere else. They may be looking just for the very default B plant, but they're lacking the smokes that we talked about. Sure, they have Doki covering from above, but he has to do his job pretty well to make this thing a success, because typically there's a reinforced wall that we see some planters trying to hide behind. This time, for the retake strategy GoSkilla have went for, they have left it completely soft, and that is came in to fight MnM so hard in the behind, as Doki, instead of a 1 versus 3, gets shot from below as well, and then he gets cooked, but to no avail as Oscar Musk is there, and the bounce back from GoSkilla, they square it up 4 rounds apiece. Well, MnM on dire straits.
Some good adaptation though coming out from GoSkilla. Like, I love that mute strategy, the mute castle strategy coming out from them. It was really effective. I mean, they were like, oh, let's just take upstairs control and now we have the round, but that's not how it works at all. And that spread out strategy coming out from GoSkilla was absolutely amazing. They dominated the round mostly because of that. And yeah, Doki left upstairs alone, not really being able to do much with that vertical play that he was given so early on.
But because we have seen those 2 rounds from the Finns, that means they are forced to head to a more off-meta bomb site. In this case, will be the Bathroom Tellers. I find it so interesting. I've been puts a smile on my face that we are seeing teams now pick up Bathroom Tellers as their third pick. For a long time, it used to be the customs. That was where teams would want to go to. But because Mira isn't as banned, teams have realized that actually Bathroom Tellers is, sure, it may not be good, but still better than what customs would be.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this site, I definitely agree with you. Like, without a mirror, it's very, very hard to hold onto customs, because you're mostly concentrating on that upstairs defense, right? With Bathroom Tellers, it's a lot more dealable with. MnM had this whole thing about holding down Office, and they were playing someone Canadian, that kind of like sandwich area, and Office right next to Triple. Some people call that Canadian. So yeah,
where are all the good
really about like the nade strategy, I think.
Question for you, James. Why are all these, you know, angles and these positions all being named after NA players, you know? Where's the Fabian spot, you know?
I think because the NA scene. Well, no, we have Wilkie, right?
Sure.
But it's on that,
you know,
map. So.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, where's the love for the EU?
That's true. That's true. Maybe because the EU players. No, let's not get into that conversation.
Let's not go into that. That will split the room. That will split the room.
So, let's go through into round number 9. It's going to be 4 apiece right now as MnM will start their attack. It's going to be Saves moving through onto 90, see what he can do here. And they're slowly going to start affecting the site itself. as well as officers. I mean, this is all about the officers take, right? But Kendrick's gonna go down instantly to Stiggy with a great shot there.
MnM just looking out of their depth. I'm quite surprised that we're seeing them struggle, but Saves, however, gets a kill back for himself and a good shot at that. And again, he was on his Ash. For the last couple of matches we've seen, he wasn't allowed this. Teams banned this operator against them, but like, no, he can flex, he can attack. But whenever he has that Ash available, you can see he has more fun with it. I think he's more confident. And again, the fact that he also has that soft breach available to himself on a map like Border, which has a boatload of soft destructible actions, and whenever there's castle barricades being run religiously, then yes, an excellent pickup, you have to say, for MnM.
Yeah, an excellent pickup. We'll start to move in. Nello will start to plant the diffuser as well. They have pretty good control, and that... Oh my god, the nomad charge as well. This is going to be really difficult to retake. Citizen picks up Stiggy. Now it's a 3v4. It's definitely still possible to retake, but it's going to be very, very difficult indeed. Citizen going to be trying to play around Astro. Will pick up Move Tahoe, as it's now a 2v4. There's Canary and Kalonsky left to try and retake. Claymore down as well. And that Claymore, I think he's going to catch someone if he move into that nomad charge above the door. That would be very unfortunate indeed for them, as Kalonsky moves through onto Passport, but can't find Citizen. He takes him down. Takes a double kill for Citizen. That's MnM Gaming. Will take round number 9. This is looking like a very intense matchup, and this actually, again, might go the distance.
We could be on for every match this evening, head to all 12 rounds, but still we have this match to be played out, and then we also do have Vitality against Ed Gaming for our final match of this evening, which will be coming up right after this matchup. So we move in to our next round, and simply because we've seen the objective origin parameter play out, that for Bombsight didn't go well for GoSkilla, but they get their armory back, which I'm sure they will be quite happy with. And you can see the kind of different playstyles that GoSkilla on their defense have against MnM. GoSkilla go for the retakes. They kind of give control to certain areas, and then they kind of flip a switch and they all activate and just kill everybody for the retake strategy. Quite an interesting way to go about things, especially on Border, whenever destructibility and the top floor angles you can find, the bottom floor angles you can find, that as a retake you can't really play around. Quite interesting for me.
Interesting is definitely one way to put it, but we are going to move through. It's going to be an unreal, because you're quite right. They're really pretty happy that they can go up here. Of course, if MnM win this round, however, they are going to secure the draw for themselves. I think that GoSkilla and MnM are pretty evenly matched in terms of talent, and in terms of like strategy, because of course they have two pretty good coaches behind them as well in strategy, and that's going to help you a lot in the league system. I think they have a pretty much more experienced coach on GoSkilla though, in the form of Vapo, who used to be a pro league player, and he also made invitational semi-finals back in the day. So we'll see how he goes down for the rest of this round, but I think MnM will be pretty happy with the draw here, honestly.
I think both teams would still like to win, especially whenever both of these teams have a real shot at making playoffs. Every win matters, and whenever there is other heated competitions, for example, Trust taking a draw against Vitality, that just messes things up even more so in terms of league standings and who will finish in the top 4. You look at the top 4, even you look at the top 6, they're all just in touching distance of each other, quite similar to the EU Pro League. I think it's what, maybe 4 points from like 7th place to like a playoff spot or something like that, something ridiculous. Stuff like that happens.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. I mean, it's still very early on in the season, but as it starts to get nearer to the end, you're like looking at back at these matches, you're thinking, wow, you really should have won that.
If only.
Yeah.
Only.
Flashes are going to come down from saves. MnM are going to be looking to try and go for an officer's push here so far. Not looking too great for them. They haven't really been able to do much work here, but they are slowly getting to officers. They do have triple wall open, but it has been soft. This fountain control is going to be a big issue, though. They do still have flashes on the board, and I think that's going to be the saving grace for them.
Andrew can even just come open and use one of his Kairos just to open up a sightline. Because as long as he still has 2 to make his entry in towards B, then there shouldn't be an issue. But looking at MnM, they've decided to give up on that office take and have rotated over towards the armory. This is the advantage of a map like Border for attackers, is that you can easily rotate within 10 seconds to go push the other bomb site. If you think things are not going to be working out well over one side you're pushing, you can just switch it up. You can rotate away, and straight away, look, Sit's below. Bandit's not going to be there. He rotated thinking that it was going to be over towards that fountain side. But no, simple enough, and this is where MnM can start making their push a reality.
They can make that push a reality, and they have got plenty of utility left to do it with. Citizen going to creep into service here. Oscar Mosca's expecting him, and he takes him down. And he still has that nitro left on the board. Saves going to try and get the fountain hit, but he goes down as well. Moved hard with a double kill as well. There we go. Saves and Kendra are out of it. It's going to be all down to Nell to try and close it out, but no, he can't. GoSkilla will take the round flawlessly. As Kalinski just goes flying outside of box wall there. Beautiful.
Yeah, this is it. This round number 11 is the round inside of this contest. This will decide who at least gets a draw and who has that match point advantage going into our round number 12. Boy, this is going to be a big one.
Our third matchup of the day, and it's going the distance again.
It's been a long one, and I think going into this next bomb site, which should hopefully be the Vents, which it is, this is where MnM need to adapt to the playstyle that GoSkilla have been showing throughout this. GoSkilla last time for this bomb site, they went for a retake. They had 3 players, I think, inside of Customs. They had 2 players inside of A-Bomb. They gave B, and they gave upstairs control completely away. But it comes back to MnM not having the drones, where they really needed those drones. They should have been able to drone out, but what do they have that stops drones? They have the mute.
Yeah, not only that, but I'm pretty sure you can mute the hatch in Customs with a mute jammer, like on top of one of the boxes. Honestly.
You tell me, you're the coach.
Well, I mean, it's kind of just playing into the fact that there's no Thatcher ever from MnM, because it's not really that necessary here.
But they have the IQ.
They do have the IQ. That is very true. Maybe that's going to play into it. I'm not sure here, honestly. I think that the mute is going to be pretty effective, and it was last round, but they are actually going to go for an upstairs hold this time. So I think now even the mute is even more effective, because the droning, if I'm being honest, hasn't been amazing from MnM. We already talked about it a little bit
it's been lackluster.
So having the mute in again as well, and also on top of that, right, you have an IQ. And they can shoot the mute jammers to the floor, but you can't get into that floor because the floor is the site. So having those mute jammers is actually going to be pretty difficult here to try and drone through.
So looking at MnM, they are actually going to be able to try and take the fight against the players inside of Customs. Save straight in through the supply room window, and he's ready. Of course, he has the R4C. He can open up any of the 5 walls. And what door is going to be the one he wants to go for? Just droning, just biding his time at the moment, and it just gives everyone else to get in position. It means that nobody from Customs can really go anywhere, but whoa, the peekaboo from Stiggy, shotguns right beside Saves, and that will be enough to put him in the hole.
That's an amazing early kill coming out from Stiggy, because Saves has been a pretty heavy fragger so far on MnM, and him going down that early may have just won the round. But Panari still holding down to Armory. Oscar Mosca from below with a pulse, because he's going to be able to pulse out 2 people in officers. Going to give that info to Panari. He's going to find a little bit of a gunfight of his own. Nitro goes off, but doesn't find its target just yet, as we get just about halfway into the round. And Oscar Mosca's actually going to go down. Mutaho can't save him just yet, it looks like. But Panari still holding down, still expecting to push through onto the officers. Into Archives, but hasn't found it just yet. So Moscow will get revived by Tahoe, and still holding down where they can. And Ari still expecting this peak, and still holding it down as the fountain push does start to come down, and the control starts to be achieved. But 1 minute left to go on the clock, and Archives wall only just getting opened up now. This, honestly, isn't great movement coming out from MnM.
There is still potential. It's only a 4 versus 5. There's a minute on the clock, and Doki gets one back. That's strong kill. That's on to the mute. That means the potential C4 is going to be nullified. And Panari, he is going to be the linchpin. He is going to be that man that can either upset this round completely, but he's actually going to try and stay. He's just going to drop. Kendry finds Oscar Mosca. This is an unfortunate scenario now for players of GoSkilla, because they have to now try and defend as much as they can. Already, the diffuser will try and be planted by Kendry, but Citizen will have the cover. Kendry is off the diffuser. Panari will take advantage of that before Nello finds Kalinsky. Panari instead of the 1 versus 3. 20 seconds to go. Plenty of time for the players of MnM to find their lone chef. Still just lurking in the shadows before Nello picks him off. And MnM, at least once again, just like Extreme, secure themselves the draw.
Yeah, and Panari was just getting spotted the entire time, so much better drone work coming out from MnM there. They knew exactly where that chef was, and they cooked him up.
Stop trying.
But you said the chef thing first.
But I always do the chef thing. You know?
One day I'll make you laugh, Demo.
Yeah, if you can come up with some pretty good ones and ones I wouldn't have thought of, by all means.
We'll get there.
Okay, deal.
But we are going to be moving on to match point for MnM as we go for another events and workshop defense. Didn't quite work out well for GoSkilla. I feel like whatever was happening down there in Tellers with Oscar Mosca and Tahoe just wasn't working at all. Like, they were losing that vertical play, and they were losing operators and losing utility for basically no gains.
This will be our last round of this matchup. Stiggy 15-7. Wow, this man proving big, and again, this is the guy I said was that hard support. He can do wonders. This is why he is certainly now one of my favorite players on this team. And, well, certainly just doing so big. And hopefully, maybe, if he performs big once again on this smoke, then could try and salvage his team at least a draw out of the wreck.
So, you see pretty much the same lineup again coming out from MnM. And from both sides, really. I still think whatever was happening around that Tellers area, we didn't get to quite see what was happening, just see the periphery of that. But, I'm not sure what to think of what's going to happen in this round. I think that if there's a little bit of a less aggressive playstyle coming out from GoSkilla, they should be able to secure this. But they were being so aggressive, like, all across the board, and they were losing so many operators, not really for any gains whatsoever. So, we'll see how it is going to be going down, as we see drones already coming out from MnM, but quickly getting destroyed to make their way into the site. What do you think about the situation so far, Demo?
MnM are just trying to get a grasp of what they're going to try. Saves. He's learned his lesson. He's not just going to hop in towards supply by himself. Instead, he will join his team upstairs, potentially. So I'm entirely sure what he wants to do. Possibly trying to bait out a run out, but still holding strong. MnM are once again going to try and push in from that offensive side. They realize the armory is a bit of a lost cause. They like taking it from this particular angle, and that will work well. There's already the first kill on the board, and once again, that mute will fall, and that's the C4 gone. So that's a big kill. And Doki still alive and well, has that sledgehammer. He's the player that they need to keep alive, because he's the one who can open up the lines that will pester these defenders. And Doki once again with that new invisible gun. Sloppy must have loaned it out to him, but this time it was the L8 version, but Panari will see right through that, and will find Doki's head.
Cool. Nello finds Panari in return. And now it's a 3v4 situation. Not looking too good right now for GoSkilla, but oh, the refrags are going to come out. Oscar Mosca takes down Nello, and that's upstairs control re-achieved for GoSkilla. Now it's looking much better, but Citizen going to slowly creep up. But everyone from MnM is so spread out right now. They really need to group up together, go for some trades of their own, and regain this top floor control. But Saves basically solo pushing right now. Doesn't expect someone to be around this area. If he can get a frag here, it could be big. But if he dies, it could be the round gone. He's going to wait for his teammate to try and push up from the other side onto Archives, but very aware of all these pushes coming on. Citizen go for the pre-fires down to Fountain through onto Archives, but won't find any kills just yet. And when Kendry has managed to make his way into the bathroom, I could go for a plant here, actually. He does have the diffuser, but oh no! Kalinsky gets hit on Saves! Where are the drones? As MnM are losing this round and losing their minds, as Citizen moves in to try and go for the refrags, but there's still two members upstairs, and Stiggy's going to finish off Kendry. Now all that Citizen in a 3v1 to try and push through, goes for the dolphin dive, and tries to move through to try and get a kill. 10 seconds left to go on the clock. Citizen moves all the way up, and Oscar Mosca will shut down any hopes of all that happening. And there we go. It will be a draw.
So draw is, that's how it stands, and it just shows how competitive this region really is. We have seen teams fight to the bitter end tonight, and hopefully Vitality N will give us the same. But a draw nonetheless, both teams walk away with a point, but I do feel that both teams, not just MnM and not just GoSkilla,